Fit here with FBTV. Listen, we're here with Offer Credit Solution, and we're going to talk a little bit about the essential savings, wants, and lifestyles. Now, here's the thing. Shout out to everybody, and not really, who reached out and says, man, I gotta have a Nala and ego. Here's the part that irritates me, to be clear. When you say, I want an ego kid, every breeding that I do, I told you my females matter. I'm only interested in the females. If I was a girl dog dad, that's what I would be. I like the girls better. I got the boys, but I just have always enjoyed the females. I've always kept them. They've always been near and dear to my heart. That being said, it's a Nala breeding. So I can switch up the sire at any moment in time because I'm betting on Nala down to the science. But even more importantly, you've reached out, and here's the thing. Out of all the people that called me, let's say we got 100 calls. We got 100 calls last time. We had 11 dogs. 11 dogs. 90 people didn't have no money. You say, hold on. How did this work? We had 100, we got 100 calls. We had 11 dogs, and 90 people didn't have any money. One of the people who secured the dog, I ain't gonna say they had no money, but he backed out as well. So what did we do? We had to put the dog up for sale. And he was he was one of the best dogs. So I'm not exaggerating. Between Jamarcus and myself, we got blasted with window shoppers. Why? Because you guys don't understand the importance of saving, which is this one. You know, blue is the color of youth, spirituality. When you care about where your life's headed, you normally will focus on the blue in life because you don't want to get backed up and be in this red. So I even like that she put the colors together. Like, Kat did this. And I had nothing to do because I came out the room and boom, it was here. But what she doesn't understand, I've read about colors. I study colors and even how people dress, and it reflects your mood and all these things. So I can assess how to talk to you just based on what you're wearing, because I'm very good with linguistics, which is also a book I've read. And that's just understanding body language. And it's something we do with dogs as well. Very good at the human thing, even though I can't stand people. So when you're looking at the red, you say, hey, what are the things you need in life? So Kat right here has $1,000. She's going to show you how this breaks down with $1,000.
All right, we're talking about essentials.
Essentials. Right? You got to live. You got to have a place to call home.
Pay that rent. Pay that car note.
That rent is due.
And that repo man coming if you don't pay the car note.
I've been there, baby. I've been there. Jesus.
All right. Talking about 60%, $600.
And look at that there, people. That's $600. Make sure you see. So you get $1,000. What's your first thought? You seen 30 for 30 broke. You see a dude was like, I just got to check. The new Mercedes just came out. I had to go get it. You get $1,000. Somebody give you $600 right now. You're like this. I'm finna go get the new one. Stop it. Finish. Go ahead.
Okay. 200. That's going towards them credit cards and that savings account.
There you go.
Can't do nothing without those being paid down.
And this right here is to protect you. 200 to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just to protect you in case of emergency.
Mm-hmm. This is your fun money. There's your, I want to go out for drinks. I want to go have a good time. Let me save for a vacay money.
Now, isn't that crazy? Because if you said, damn, that's all I get? Well, this category look bigger than this one. I like this one better. This is the one I want to live here. And most of us, as we've talked about a minute ago, we're going 50-50. So now it's like this here. Well, matter of fact, it might not even be 60-40. So you like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go, 6 and 4, 60-40. Now, there's nothing going here to protect you. And all you're doing is living some fake lifestyle. And you got to pay your bills because you need a place to stay. You've got to make sure that the repo man will come get that car so you can get to and from. In some cases, especially if you have a family, you need health insurance and you've got to eat. So, Kat, if you had to give them an idea of how to best or better manage their money so that they don't call me with big dreams, high hopes, and no cash, where do you start with making better choices? Because even in the dog space, people, I know, unfortunately, our category specific to the breed says black. when you buy or you are black. I'm being clear and saying I was not taught about credit. I wasn't taught about saving. I wasn't taught about dollar. Matter of fact, every experience early on, if I'm being completely candid with money, was a bad experience. My dad told me that if you saved some money, my dad's a crook, by the way, I would match whatever you save and help you buy a car. Well, I ended up working at FedEx and I saved $3,000. Not only did he not buy the car, he stole my money. That's the truth. I don't know where it went. And I'm gonna be clear and tell you this. You know why this means so much to me too? We get in this car accident one time. My sister, my little brother, myself, and we're my aunt Raj, she's dead now. And in the insurance claim, we all get $250. And my brother, he says, man, I want to buy such and such. I got some money. My mama took the boy's money. And it had to come out because he's high pressure. And I'm like, yo, where's money go? And she's getting pressure, right? She said, babe, I had bills to pay. You wasn't even in the car. Every experience I've personally had with saving, helping someone out, using my own finances, ruining my life, it ain't been a good one, to be clear. And it still ain't the best. But now I'm in more control. And with Kat's help, we'll all be in better control. So when we start thinking about essentials, for one, why is this category so important? And how do you manage these two without letting this one take over?
Yeah. I think the first step is just knowing where your money's going. Not just, hey, a bill's due, let me just pay this real fast. Oh, I gotta go get groceries. Well, shoot, I should be good to spend $300 this week. I don't know. It's all about knowing where it's going. That way you can start to create a plan, because you can't create a plan if there's no information there to start with.
There you go. And we talked about setting financial goals. For one, these goals are already set. You got these going on, there's nothing else. Past that, you say, well, I've got an extra $1,000 a month. I want to allocate that to whatever. And objectively, you don't want to throw $1,000 in the trash, because it's literally like setting money on fire. We just set this all on fire. You'd be like, oh, I can't believe they burned $1,000. But some of y'all, that's what y'all doing. And in business, when something's not making money, and they call it a burn rate. What's your burn rate for some products when you got it in a warehouse? Say our burn rate's at $100,000 a month, so you're burning through $100,000 a month just to keep this thing working. It's not working. It's crazy. Savings now. What does savings really do for a person?
Put you in position to be able to take care of business, especially, again, we're talking about, it's a little bit different, right? Even somebody like yourself, for the most part, you've got your own thing going on, you take care of your dogs, right? But for the most part, you've always kind of been a nomad, right?
Nomad.
You do your own thing, you stay where you stay, whatever. Not a ton of responsibility outside of the dogs besides yourself. When you're talking about somebody who's got a kid, 2 kids, 5 kids, you know what I mean, a spouse, whatever the case may be, you know what I mean, we're talking about savings being in place. So if somebody gets hurt, if you do get into a car accident, it's your fault. Now you got to pay that $1,500 deductible. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have just $1,500 sitting around. That savings is in place to make sure that this balance doesn't get messed up whenever life does its thing and throws a curveball at you.
Guys, and let me tell you this, and I said this in the other Offer Credit Solutions video, is I asked her if she knew any tricks, and if you have questions, and we're going to do more videos, and I like that she knows a few ways in which you can get help. And it's the help, does it involve EBT?
Yeah, and that's one resource.
Okay, one resource is EBT. Some people look down upon it, but let me be very clear and tell you this. My mom, she made $4 at one job, $4.15, and then $5.15 in another job. So, and 3 kids. Dad's in prison, so you go, how does someone like a single mother who cannot pay bills, how does she even save for a rainy day? Well, in my life, it was always raining. So much so, if I'm being super candid, my grandmother was a 2nd grade teacher. She taught at Satchel Paige back in Kansas City, and my grandfather, he worked at Ford for over 30 years. Decent pension, retirement, all this stuff. I said, Mom, what happened to their money? Not because I'm asking because I want any of it, because how is that they both died in the past 3 years? They both died in their 90s. How is it they have nothing to leave you guys? She said they helped us out a lot. If I couldn't pay rent, they paid the rent. If I couldn't pay the light bill, they paid the light bill. So they kept us alive when we were kids, because not only did she not have the education or mental stability, if I'm being completely frank, to manage her finances and make better choices. I wasn't taught, and we talk about breaking the generational, whatever they call it. But objectively, I got out of school, didn't know nothing about rental history, credit. My dad played me on some money, so all of my experiences early on were bad with money. Or bad, they're awful. And then, like I said, they still are. But how does someone making $4 and then $5, now that's not today. I don't think anybody can make that. Well, some people could. But with 3 kids, how could they plan for the worst?
Yeah.
Because the worst is coming. It's coming. I got hit in the mouth with a titanium bat once and lost some of my gum. One of my gums are missing down here. Dude hit me in the mouth. Boom. And my mom was hollering. I'm never gonna forget. She was screaming. My friend Pansy Whitmore was there. They was hollering, boy. I was a baby kid. But how do you plan for the worst in these with that type of resources?
Yeah, so I mean that's the biggest thing. You said it earlier. A lot of people look down on it, right? Mm-hmm. It's there for a reason. So doing the research, taking advantage of those resources, also finding ways that you're able to cut your bills without necessarily cutting into your lifestyle. There's a lot of different ways. Feel free to reach out. I've got plenty of ideas, and no, I'm not going to charge you. I keep getting that question. Hey, does a consultation cost? It doesn't. It does not. I am happy to talk to you. You know what I mean? But that's all that is. Figuring out ways where you can cut expenses, finding resources to build basically your village, right? If you don't have people like Trevor had his grandparents, he didn't even know, right? His grandparents were helping them survive in the background. If you don't have that resource, seek additional resources because the government's got them.
And guys, I'm giving you this away because I thought for a long time that price justified value. And value meant if somebody pays us $3, now we never gonna do this right here, but our bullies pet home $3,000, girls $5,000, boys $4,000. That's the price. It's a business. That's the price. That's where we're at right now today. Doesn't mean the prices aren't going to increase over the next 3 generations by 20%. That's reasonable. We did a video on that. I was like, if you was going to raise your prices, that's what you do. Point is this: I want to know that you can manage. And why I say pet homes, I love pet homes because they tend to be considerate of what's going on in their life, both financially, mentally, and even emotionally. I don't want you to buy an American Bully or buy a dog for me because you're like, oh, I got a dog because of you. I have never influenced nobody to get no dog. You'll never see a post like, hey man, go out and get your dog. I'm like, don't do it. Don't get a dog. It's time restricting. It's time consuming. You can't travel all the time. It's so many moving parts. I wouldn't recommend this. I just wouldn't. But if you are to get one, then it's good for me to see on paper like a good resume. What's your lifestyle like? What's that look like? I like when you got some responsibilities personally. If I know you got a couple responsibilities and you can manage yourself, you go, we're on the right path here. But when you are just somebody, if you the guy messaging me with money in your profile pic, we don't ever have a conversation, so we're clear. That conversation never happens. We're not even going there. I want to see love, affection, and such, and that doesn't mean a $3,000 dog doesn't get left to the dust. Doesn't mean it goes bad. Doesn't mean things don't go wrong. But I feel a little bit better about that $3,000 to $5,000 range, which in some sense means you're going to at least be more considerate of giving your hard-earned money away. Hopefully, when buying a dog, and our job is to make sure that you know how to save, manage your essentials, and then also enjoy yourself. Nobody's telling you not to have fun. We're just saying don't let the fun get the best of your life and then be 40 and be like, I ain't got nothing to show for. And I assure you, when you're 40, you don't want to just have a dog. That's the only thing you got to show for is a dog. That ain't it. Anything else you want to leave them with or hit them with?
Yeah, again, just be aware. Be aware of what you got going on. Because again, I mean, Trevor spent big money on dog surgeries. We spent big money on food.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
I'm still paying for surgeries, people. $162 comes out of my account every month until $3,000. It costs $3,000 to keep Bolo alive. But when I tell you, I'm glad Keith. I put it like this because I like Keith and what he's got going. He's such a good dude. Him and his fiance. I would have done another breeding this year if Bolo would have died. Like I said, I won't go do no more. But that's when I tell you, you got to talk to me. You got to talk to me about getting one of our dogs. I would have sped up one of the breedings to ensure Keith got a dog from me because I know how much it meant to him, you know. And it just so happens he's Christian, aka Flight's friend, and Christian posted him one day, posted Flex and all of that. He's like, man, what you doing with them dogs? He's, man, we live in the same house. Like, man, you don't know. He's like, bro, I'm right here with him every day. Point is this: 7 degrees of separation. I love good people. I love people who have good intent. I'm here because we have the intent to help. If you go to Offer Credit Solutions, you've got questions. This video isn't going to dot every I and cross every T, but hopefully it gets the ball rolling. Guys, you don't want to end up 60 and broke and struggling. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, in my case, my mama or my daddy. My daddy ain't never going to be broke, but I'll tell you one thing. He going to steal from anybody he can come in contact with. That's what he does. He's a robber. A robber baron. People not going to like it, but that's what he's always done. Found a way to get over on folks. My mom, she's always going to be broke. Till I put her on a spending thing. I said, look, I'll give you about $10,000 spend a month. Don't get half of it to the church. she would be, you give 100,000, she'll get 90 to the Lord. You're like, the Lord don't need $90,000. Just so we clear. So we got to make some better choices because debt to her is a real thing. Whereas debt to her is a real thing, and it's not good debt. If an Offer Credit Solutions video on YouTube, Cat broke down the importance of 6%, making sure you keep it all together. But point is, people, your house matters. You need a nice, I'm gonna say nice place. You need a place so that you and the dog can have peace. You gotta have a car. Unfortunately, depending on where you're at, I'll tell you right now, I don't have a car. I got rid of all those things moons ago, and I'm just like, you know, most people ain't doing nothing. So I just call them. They literally, I used to call them, hey bro, what you doing? He's like, what's up? I'm like this, I gotta go pick this dog up. They be like, where's it at? I said, boy, just come to head this way. We'll go get it, man. You ain't got nothing to do. And how I looked at it is, and then Turo came out. This was like, 15 years ago when I was thinking this way. And these Negroes are sitting around doing nothing. And they still sitting around doing nothing. So if you really think about it, even up and down the street, 9 out of 10 people don't have nothing to do. So I give them something to do, as I look at it, and I can go get a car if I needed to. If I needed to, but it's like this, where else y'all headed? Nowhere. But at anywho, you gotta have a car. Groceries are important, as she said. We got 2 freezers down there for the dogs. We all feed raw and cook components. Insurance, especially if you got a family, that's important as well because you don't want to pay that bill. You don't want to pay that insurance bill. And I can't afford a doctor, literally. Savings is key, and even some way in which you save, and I'm sure she'll be able to help us do that as well. How do you save by making money? And that's investing in stock. Debt, you don't want that debt to become 50% of your lifestyle or 50% of what? I don't even know the term to use. Let's say somebody makes $100,000 a year, but they got $200,000 of work. What's that called? Is there a word for it?
That's your debt to income ratio.
Debt to income ratio.
DTI.
And how bad is that in your opinion?
If you have $200,000 worth of debt and you make $100,000 a year, you should probably file bankruptcy.
The struggle's real.
I wouldn't recommend that very often, but in that situation, yeah, we got an issue.
So we're going to continue to bring stuff. Please like, comment below the things that you'd like to learn more about, potentially even get into the dog space and maybe how to deal with your credit better. Manage these things as well by maybe improving the skill as far as cooking's concerned. You know, if you drink, don't spend money on drinks. Drink at the crib, because a $30 bottle and a $1,000 bottle are 2 different bottles. Do the same thing, but one, you know, you might be feeling yourself a little more, but show up and talk to homies into dropping the thou. Wow, I say. Guys, we're going to leave it at that. As I said before, we got 100 calls, and even we showed you we've got 1,300 people on our waiting list. 90 people had no money. Then somebody says, well, can you bless me? I said, I'm not God. And 11 dogs. Numbers seem a little off because we had 11 dogs and 90 calls, and we sold 11 dogs, but we sold it to a guy that we know, and he paid for the dog, and he was even skeptical because he just paid for something new in terms of business. It goes, I ain't even got it. I was like, take your time. You send me a payment whenever. First payment, boom. Second payment, boom. He's a man of his word. Guys, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this helps.